Tonight, we are breaking down an account from a very experienced search and rescue volunteer. This isn't just some campfire story. It's a first-person testimony from a professional about an encounter in the Appalachian woods. An encounter so profound, it made him quit the job he loved forever. He kicks things off with this really simple but heavy line. I am not a coward. And he's not just bragging. He's making a point. He wants us to know he's a practical, grounded person. And honestly, that's what makes what he's about to describe so much more chilling. And he's not just saying that. He has the stats to prove it. In his 6 years working search and rescue out in the tough Appalachian Mountains of Tennessee, he found 31 missing people. 31! And get this, of those 31 people, he and his team brought 26 back alive. This is a guy who's recovered bodies from deep ravines, who's worked in cold so bad his water would freeze solid in the bottle. He's a man who really understands the dangers of the wilderness. You could say he'd seen it all, until that night. Because one call, just one mission on one particular night, was so deeply, profoundly strange that it didn't just frighten him. It made him walk away from a job he considered his entire identity, and he never once looked back. So, what on earth happened out there? Well, we're going to approach this like a case file. First, we'll establish our witnesses' credibility. Then we'll get into some of the local lore. And finally, we'll walk through the entire incident, minute by terrifying minute. Okay, first up, let's be absolutely clear about who this story is coming from. This isn't some casual hiker who got spooked by a squirrel. We're talking about a trained professional whose entire job was to march into the dark and face down whatever was out there. Think about it. 6 years in one of the oldest, most unforgiving mountain ranges in America. He's dealt with the grim reality of pulling bodies from ravines and pushed himself through brutal, freezing weather. He makes it very clear that he's a practical guy who trusts what he can see and touch. So when someone like that says they were terrified, it means something. But even the most grounded professionals can run into things they just can't explain. So before we get to what happened that night, there's this really important piece of context. Sort of an unspoken truth known only to the people who've spent their entire lives in those mountains. Yeah, you're not gonna find this in any field guide, but the old-timers, the veteran rangers, they talk about it in hushed tones. They call it the Watcher. Some of them refuse to even give it a name. They just call it a presence. They'll tell you there are things in those mountains that aren't on any map, and there are places where people just shouldn't be. And on a cold October evening in the Cherokee National Forest, what started as a totally routine call would bring this SAR team face to face with that very presence. All right, so here's the setup. The call comes in at 6:14 p.m. An experienced hiker is overdue. His phone's going straight to voicemail. For this SAR team, this is business as usual, you know? Another day at the office. They get their gear, the cold night air is biting, and they prepare to head into the darkness. The team moves fast, like they always do, and they reach the search area around 9:20 p.m. They call out the hiker's name, and that is the exact moment everything changed. The normal sounds of the forest at night, the insects, the wind, all of it just stopped. A heavy, oppressive silence fell over them like a blanket. And it's Carrie, the most experienced member on the team, who finally gives a voice to the feeling they all had. She didn't whisper it. She said it like it was a cold, hard fact. Something is watching us. And in that dead, unnatural quiet, they all knew she was right. Unbelievably, just 11 minutes later, they found him. But finding the hiker wasn't the end of the story. No, that was the beginning of the real horror. So the good news is, he's alive. He'd slipped, badly injured his ankle, and had been stuck in a little ditch for almost 6 hours. He was cold, in a lot of pain, but they found him. Carrie and Marcus immediately go into rescue mode, checking his injuries, planning how to get him out of there. So while his teammates are doing first aid, our narrator is doing his job. It's standard procedure. One person always stands guard, watching for bears or any other dangers. So he's standing there, his headlamp cutting through the pitch black, just scanning the tree line. And that's when his light falls on it. Right there, between two massive oak trees, maybe 30 feet away, was a shape. And the very first thing his brain registered was its height. It was just wrong. It was impossibly tall, well over 7 feet, way taller than any person. He kept his light aimed right at it, fully expecting to see that telltale shine of animal eyes reflecting back. But there was nothing, no glint, just these dark, flat voids where the eyes should have been. And it was standing, perfectly, unnervingly still. Just as the whole team turns to see this thing, the injured hiker, the man who'd been lying helpless in the dark for hours, grabs Carrie's arm, and his voice is this terrified whisper. It has been standing there since it got dark. It was there the whole time. I mean, just think about the weight of that statement. They got the hiker out of there, moving faster than they ever had, not once daring to look back. But the thing is, getting out of the woods didn't mean the encounter was over. It would haunt every single member of that team. The three of them made a pact. Whatever they saw, it wasn't going in the official report. How could it? But you can't just unsee something like that. And look what happened. Within a week, our narrator resigned. Carrie, with 7 years on the job, was gone 2 months later. And Marcus? He transferred to a desk job, never going on a field mission again. About a year later, the narrator just had to know more. He tracked down the hiker he'd helped rescue. He needed to know what it was like, sitting there for 6 hours in the dark with that thing watching him. And the hiker's answer was so simple and so unbelievably chilling. It never moved, but it never left either. And that's the question that just hangs over this entire story, isn't it? The creature didn't seem aggressive, it just stood there for 6 hours watching. The hiker's own words just echo in the silence. If it wanted to hurt me, it would have. So why was it there? It's a question nobody has an answer to.